Hello and welcome. In this video we will be looking at finding averages. We'll be going through a variety of different parts of averages. So this video is for you if you are studying for your GCSEs, if you're in year 9, or even if you're in year 7 or 8 and want to challenge yourself a little bit. So in this video you will learn how to find the averages from a list of data values, finding a missing value when you are given the mean from a list of data, finding the average from a frequency table including IQR, which stands for interquartile range. And also we'll be looking at finding averages from a grouped frequency table, and we'll be looking at discrete and continuous data for this. So to begin with, let's talk about the three averages. The three averages are the mean, the median and the mode. So the mean is worked out by finding the sum of all values and dividing by the number of values. So you add up all of the values and divide by how many values you have. The second average is the median. Now the median is the middle value, but a lot of students miss out the last bit. It's the middle value of an ordered set of data. All right, the data has to be ordered first, then it's the middle value. And finally, the mode. The mode is the most common value. The most popular value is the mode. We're also going to be looking at some measures of spread, which is known as dispersion. So the two most common measures of dispersion are range, which is highest value take away lowest value, and the interquartile range, which is the upper quartile take away the lower quartile. In short, you can write that as IQR equals UQ minus LQ. And don't worry if you don't know how to work out the upper quartile or the lower quartile. I will be going through that in this video as well. So let's start off with working out the averages from a list of data. So we're going to be working out the range, the mode, the median and the mean. So we're going to go through these two questions. Let's start with this one here, number 1. So let me get a bit of space. Number 1. So the first thing you want to do is copy down the numbers. So 9, 6, 5, 7, 8, 5, 2. The second thing you want to do is you want to rewrite these numbers in order from smallest to biggest. So the smallest number I have here is 2, and then you can cross it off. Next is 5 and 5. Then we have 6, 7, 8, and 9. So these are my numbers in order. One thing that you should check is count how many values you have here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and count how many there were in the original question. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because it's quite easy to miss one out or add in an extra one. So now that we've got that done, we can begin the question. So the first question is to find the range. So the range is the highest value take away the lowest value, and conveniently, because we've put it in order, the highest value is 9. The lowest value is 2, so 9 take away 2, which gives us 7. So the range of this data is 7. Question B, find the mode. The mode is the most common value. So if we look here, most of these numbers we just have one of. However, 5 we have 2 of. So since we have 2 5s, our mode is 5. Question C is to find the median. So to find the middle value of a set of data, we will just cross off values from both ends. So we want to find which number is in the middle. You might be able to just see, but let's cross one off there, we cross one off there, cross one off there, cross one off there, cross one off there, cross one off there. We're left with one number here, so my median is equal to 6. And then the mean is where you take the sum of all values and divide by the number of values. So the sum of all values is 2 plus 5 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 divided by the number of values, which there are 7. And this will give you 42 divided by 7, so the answer you get is. So now that we've done the first question, let's have a look at question number 2. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to write down the numbers in order as they are. So 7, 3, 2, 4, 9, 6, 7 and 4. Then we're going to write these in order from smallest to biggest. So the smallest number I see is a 2. Cross them off as you go. I then see a 3. Then I see 2 4s. There's no 5s. There's a 6. There's 2 7s. And then there's a 9. Now just count how many values we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And originally we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. So now we can begin to answer the 4 questions. So let's start off with A, the range. So the range is the highest value, take away the lowest value. The highest value in this list of numbers is 9 and the lowest is 2. So we get 9, take away 2. The range is 7. B, find the mode. So the mode is the most common value. Now we have 2 4s and we have 2 7s. So we actually have the most common values, plural. So the answer is just 4 and 7 because we have 2 4s and 2 7s. Now if I had 3 4s and 2 7s, then the mode would just be 4. But because I have 2 of these and 2 of these, and I don't have 2 of anything else, or more than 2 of anything else, the mode is 4 and 7. Question C, find the median. So the median is the middle value of an ordered set of data. So let's cross these off. So take one off, the beginning and the end, the beginning and the end, the beginning and the end. Now, if I take off one more, then I'll be left with nothing. So I've actually got 2 numbers in the middle. Now, when you've got 2 numbers in the middle, what you do is you add the 2 numbers together, 4 plus 6, and you want to find the middle of them, so you divide by 2. So 4 add 6 is 10. 10 divided by 2 gives you 5. So the median is 5. Finally, the mean. So the mean is going to be the sum of all values, which is going to be 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 4 plus 6 plus 7 plus 7 plus 9 divided by the number of values, which in this case is 8. So if we get your calculator and you type this in, you will get 42 divided by 8, which is 21 divided by 4, which has a decimal, is 5.25. So the mean of this data is 5.25. So that's how you find averages from a list of data. So now we're going to look at a section where we are given the mean and we need to find a missing value. So let's have a look at this example. So a class with 7 students have an average test score of 7 marks. 6 of the students scored the following marks respectively. How many marks did the 7th student score? So the first thing you've got to realise is that if there are 7 students which have an average of 7 marks, the total marks of the class must be equal to the 7 students times the average of 7 marks. So the total marks of the class must be 49. Now 6 of the students scored these. So the scores of 6 students is equal to 5 plus 8 plus 4 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9, which is 24, 36, 41. So the scores of the 6 students is 41. So how many marks did the 7th student score? Well, if the class total was 49 and the first 6 students scored 41, it's going to be 49, take away 41, 8 marks. So the 7th student must have scored 8 marks. Okay, so let's try another one of these. So the average temperature for the last 5 days was 11 degrees. The first 4 days had temperatures of 7, 10, 12 and 13. What was the temperature on the 5th day? So similar to last time, we're going to find the total of the temperatures. So the total of the temperatures for 5 days, the average was 11 degrees. So it's going to be 5 multiplied by 11, which is 55. So the total temperatures add up to 55. Okay, the temperature of the first 4 days is equal to 7, 10, 12 and 13. So if we add all of this up, that's 25, 35, that's 42 degrees. So the 5th day, the temperature would have to be, I'll give you a second. Well, hopefully you've got it. The total for the 5th day, the temperature will be 55, take away 42, which is 13 degrees. Next, we're going to go on to finding the average from a frequency table. We're actually going to be finding the range, the mode, the median, the mean, and also the interquartile range from this frequency table. So this frequency table shows dress size and frequency. So the first thing you need to do is you need to be able to understand what this table represents. So this 6 and this 7 is telling me that there are 7 people that have a dress size of 6. There are 12 people that have a dress size of 8. There are 16 people that have a dress size of 10. There are 15 people that have a dress size of 12. There are 9 people that have a dress size of 14. So the first thing we're going to do is work out how many people there are. So for that, we just add up all of the frequencies. So you can get your calculator and just do 7 plus 12 plus 16 plus 15 plus 9, and that would give you 59. So we now know that there are 59 people. And now we can look at answering these questions. So we'll start off with range. So question A is the range. Now the range is the highest take away the lowest, and a lot of students make a mistake on this. So if you're thinking of doing 16 take away 6, that's not quite right, because this table is a table showing the dress sizes. So all we're interested in is the sizes of the dresses. So the dress sizes go 6, 8, 10, 12 and 14. So when we say find the range, we are finding the range of the dress sizes. And the range of the dress sizes is the biggest dress size, take away the smallest dress size. So 14 take away 6. And 14 take away 6 is 8. So the range is 8. Next, the mode. The mode is the most common value. And again, this is a question that students usually get wrong. They're looking for the most common number within the table. And usually students will say 12 because 12 appears twice, but that's not quite correct. Going back to what these numbers represent, this is telling me that 7 people wear a dress size of 6, 12 people wear a dress size of 8, 16 people wear a dress size of 10, 15 people wear a dress size of 12, and 9 people wear a dress size of 14. 16 people is the highest number here, and they wear a dress size of 10. So your mode is size 10 because 16 people are size 10. Next is median. So the formula for the median is n plus 1 divided by 2. Now n represents the number of values or the number of people. So in this case, n is this number here, 59. So it's 59 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 60 divided by 2, which is 30. Now that's not the median. Okay, the median is the 30th value. And another thing you should know is when you're working out any of the averages, the mean, the median or the mode, all of the values for mean, median and mode must lie between the smallest value and the biggest value. So if we get a dress size smaller than 6 or bigger than 14 for either the mean, the median or the mode, it's automatically wrong, because that cannot be the average of these. The average has to be somewhere between 6 and 14. So we are looking for the 30th value. Now this can get a little bit tricky. To find the 30th value, over here we have 7 people. So the first person, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh person is in there. So person number 1 to person number 7 is in there. Now the next person, person number 8, is in here because the first 7 people are in here. So person number 8 is in here. 8, 9, 10, 11, all the way down to 19, because there are 12 people here. Yes, I know the difference between this is 11, but you also need to include the 8 and the 19. So if you count on your fingers, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, you will get 12 fingers. So the 19th person is in there. If the 19th person is in there, that means that this one is the 20th. So the 20th person is in here, and this will go up to the 35th value. The way I'm working this out so quickly is I am simply adding this number here, the 19, and the 16. Yeah, so this is the total of this is the total number of people so far, and this is how many more new people. So that's where this 35 is coming from. If that finished at 35, then this one starts at 36 and will go up to 35 plus 15, which is the 50th value. And if that finishes at the 50th value, this will start at the 51st value, and this will go up to 50 plus 9, the 59th value. So what I'm looking for is the 30th value, or the 30th person. Where does that 30th person lie? Not 1 to 7, not 8 to 19, but 20 to 35. So the 20th to the 35th person are in this column here, and this column corresponds to size 10. So the 30th value is equal to size 10. So your median is size 10. D, the mean. You might notice the mean is worth 3 marks. Okay. Now to find the mean, we have to create this extra row. Now this extra row is called dress size times frequency. And what we have to do is exactly what you think. 6 times 7 is 42. 8 times 12 is 96. 10 times 16 is 160. 12 times 15 is 180. 14 times 9 is 126. Then you need to total this up. So type this into your calculator. 42 plus 96 plus 160 plus 180 plus 126, and you will get the answer of 604. Now to find the mean, all we do is we look at these two numbers in the total column, and the mean is equal to 604 divided by 59. So if you type that into your calculator, 604 divided by 59, to one decimal place we get a 10.2. So the mean size is 10.2, which you could round to 10 if you wanted. I'm going to keep it as 10.2. And finally, we're going to be looking at the interquartile range. So interquartile range is IQR, and that's equal to UQ take away LQ. UQ is upper quartile, LQ is lower quartile. So let's figure out what these are. So your lower quartile is the value that is 1/4 of the way across in the data. So there's a formula for that, very similar to the formula for the median. Can you see this formula? N plus 1 divided by 2 finds the value that is exactly 1/4 of the way across. Well, the lower quartile, the formula for that is very similar. N plus 1, but instead of dividing by 2, we're going to divide by 4 because we're talking about quartiles. So N plus 1 divided by 4. And N is 59. So 59 add 1 divided by 4 is 60 divided by 4, which is 15. But 15 is not your lower quartile. your lower quartile is your 15th value. So where is the 15th value? So we look at these numbers here and we're looking for the 15th value. So we've got the 1st to the 7th in there, the 8th to the 19th are in here. So the 15th value must be somewhere within this, which is corresponding to a dress size of 8. So the lower quartile is 8, or size 8. So to find the upper quartile, what we're going to do is, it's a very similar formula. The upper quartile is 3/4 of the way across. So we're going to do n plus 1 divided by 4, which works out 1/4 of the way across, and times that by 3. So that would become 3 times 59 add 1 divided by 4, which is 3 times 60 over 4, which is 3 times 15. So we are looking for the 45th value. And where is the 45th value? So 1st to 7th, 8th to 19th, 20th to 35th, 36th to 50th. The 45th value is somewhere in there, which means size 12. So now we can use this formula here. Interquartile range is upper quartile take away lower quartile. So IQR equals UQ take away LQ. We've worked out that the lower quartile is the upper quartile is 12, the lower quartile is 8, giving me the interquartile range as 4. So that's how you find the interquartile range. So now let's talk about the two types of data. The two types of data are discrete data and continuous data. Now, discrete data is data that has specific fixed values. And continuous data is data that can take any value within a range. So let me give you a few examples. So for continuous data, data that can take any value. For example, if we look at somebody's weight. Somebody's weight could be 60 kilos, it could be 61 kilos, it could be 61.3 kilos, it could be 61.327594 kilograms. That's weight. Height, again, is a similar one. Someone could be 156 centimeters, or they could be 156.73924. Discrete data is data that has specific fixed values. Two main examples of this are shoe size. So somebody is either a shoe size 6, or a shoe size 7, or a shoe size 6.5, but nobody is a shoe size 6 1/4. Nobody's a 6.25, or more importantly, nobody is a 6.37 as a shoe size. And another example of discrete data is age. So if we're talking about people's ages, your age is either 14, 15, 16. You might be 14.5, 15.5, 16.5. But nobody's age is 14.832. Okay, so age has specific fixed values. Every half year is about the most that they go to. And shoe size goes up in half sizes as well. So those are discrete data, they have fixed values. So we're going to look at grouped frequency tables, and we're going to start off with an example with continuous data, and time is an example of continuous data. So what we have here is the time in minutes taken to complete a test paper. So we've got time between 0 and 5, between 5 and 10, 10 and 15, 15 and 20, 20 and 25. And the inequality signs help us to identify where these boundary numbers would go. So if someone took exactly 5 minutes, they would fall in this category because t is less than or equal to 5, whereas this one says t is bigger than 5. So if it is exactly 5, it would go in here. If it was exactly 15, it would go in this one. So you don't need to think twice about which row it fits into. So we're going to be, well, let's talk about this table. So 19 students took between 0 and 5 minutes, 23 took between 5 and 10, 21 students took between 10 and 15 minutes, 5 students took between 15 and 20 minutes, and 3 students took between 20 and 25 minutes. The first thing we want to do here is we want to add up the frequencies. So if we add up all of the frequencies, what do we get? out of that is 40, 63, 71. Now we can find an estimate of the range. So we're going to work out the estimate of the range, the modal class, the class containing the median, and an estimate of the mean. And in the square brackets, I've indicated roughly how many marks each of these questions would be worth. So an estimate of the range. Now, range, if you remember, is highest, take away lowest. So this is a question about the time taken to complete a test. So we're looking for the highest time and the lowest time. So the highest time is obviously in this class here, 25, and the lowest is in here, which is 0. So 25 take away 0 is 25. So your range is 25. Also, each one of these is called a class. So 0 to 5 minutes is a class, 5 to 10 minutes is a class, 10 to 15 is a class. So these are all classes. So that helps us to answer question B, where it says find the modal class. So which one of these 5 classes is the modal class, the most popular class? So we look for the one with the highest frequency, which is 23, and read off that. So the modal class is 5 to 10 because it has the highest frequency. Question C, find the class containing the median. Okay, so this is just another way of saying find the median. So the formula for median is the same as before. So median is equal to n add 1 divided by 2. N in this case is 71. 71 add 1 divided by 2 is 72 divided by 2, which is 36. Now the median is not 36, the median is the 36th value. So to find out where the 36th value is, I'm just going to put the position numbers in the frequency column. So we've got 19 people in here. So this one starts with the person number 1, the first person, all the way to the 19th person. So if the 19th person is there, then the 20th person is in here, all the way to 19 add 23, which is the 42nd person. If the 42nd person is here, then the 43rd person must be in this one, all the way up to 42 add 21, which is the 63rd person. If that's 63rd, then this one will be the 64th person, and 63 add 5 is 68. So it takes us to the 68th, and this one then starts at the 69th person, and 68 add 3 is 71, so the 71st. So I'm looking for the 36th value. Where does the 36th value lie? Somewhere between the 20th and the 42nd. So the class containing the median is 5 to 10. Now the most popular question on grouped frequency tables is working out an estimate of the mean. And to find the estimate of the mean, we need to complete the table. So we've got 2 empty columns. One of them is called midpoint and the other one is called midpoint times frequency. So midpoint is, what is the midpoint of these numbers here? So what number is halfway between 0 and 5? So 0 plus 5 is 5, divided by 2 is 2.5. 5 add 10 is 15, divided by 2 is 7.5. Carry on like that, will give us 12.5, 17.5, and then 20 add 25 is 45, divided by 2 is 22.5. And then we need to do midpoint times frequency, which is 2.5, that's my midpoint, and my frequency is 19. So 2.5 times 19 is 47.5. For this one we will do 7.5 times 23. So make sure you use a calculator. 172.5. And the next one would be 12.5 times 21, which is 262.5. 17.5 times 5 is 87.5. 22.5, and 22.5 times 3 is 67.5. Then we total up this final column, so the midpoint times frequency column, and the grand total of this is 637.5. So now to find the mean, all we do is we take this number here and we divide it by the total number of people. So 637.5 divided by 71. So 637.5 divided by 71, and that gives me 8.98, which I'm just going to put as 9.0 to 1 decimal place. So the mean time is 9.0 minutes to 1 decimal place. Okay, and that's how you work out the mean and the averages from a grouped frequency table with continuous data. Now we're going to look at a grouped frequency table with discrete data this time. So we have the number of marks scored by students when doing a test. So the marks were 0 to 2, 3 to 5, 6 to 8, 7 to 11, 6 to 8, 9 to 11 and 12 to 14. Now this is discrete data because students can either get 0 marks, 1 mark, 2 marks, 3 marks. They can't get 2.5 marks. So there's no half marks in this test. So that's why it's discrete data. So we're going to answer the same questions here. The first thing I would advise you to do is to add up the frequencies. So if we add up all of the frequencies, we get 9, 21, 39. So the total frequency is 39, so there are 39 people. Now we're going to answer the question. So question A, find the range or an estimate of the range, which is highest, take away lowest. Now remember, we are looking at the student's test mark. So the highest test mark is 14 and the lowest test mark is 0. So 14 take away 0 is 14. Question B, the modal class. So which is the most common class? So we are looking for the class with the highest frequency. So the highest frequency I see is 15, and that class would be 9 to 11 marks. So the modal class is 9 to 11 marks. Question C, find the class containing the median. Let's fill in the position numbers. So this first class, 0 to 2 marks, has a frequency of 3. So that means the first, the second and the third person are in there. If that one finishes on third, then this one will start on fourth, and there are 6 people. So third plus 6 people will take us to the 9th person. If that finishes at 9, this will start at the 10th person, and 9 add 12 is 21. So it takes us to the 21st person. After 21st is 22nd, all the way up to 21 add 15, 36th value. And if that finishes at 36, this will be the 37th value, and 36 add 3 is 39. And that number should be the same as that number. So the median. So the formula for median is n plus 1 divided by 2. So that's 39 add 1 divided by 2, which is 40 divided by 2, which is 20. So that means that our median is the 20th value. And since we've done all of this work, where is the 20th value? First, second, third in there, 4th to 9th in here, 10th to 21st. So the 20th person is in here, which means 6 to 8 marks. 6 to 8 marks. And then question D, find an estimate of the mean. So what we need to do now is we need to fill in the final 2 columns of this table. So the first one is midpoint, so the midpoint of 0 and 2, so 0 add 2 is 2, and to find the middle we divide by 2. So 0 plus 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then midpoint times frequency is 1 times 3, which is 3. the midpoint of 3 and 5, so 3 add 5 is 8, divided by 2 is 4. 6 add 8 is 14, divided by 2 is 7. 9 and 11 is 20, divided by 2 is 10. 12 and 14 is 26, divided by 2 is 13. Midpoint times frequency, so 4 times 6 is 24. 7 times 12 is 84. 10 times 15 is 150. 13 times 3 is 39. And if we add all of these up, we should get 300. Exactly. So to find the mean, all we do is we divide this number by this number. 300 divided by 39. And that gives me, to one decimal place, 7.7. 7.7 marks. Okay, so I'll leave it as 7.7. You could round that to 8 marks if you want, but I'm going to leave it as 7.7 marks here. And the reason this is worth 4 marks is because you are getting 1 mark for completing the midpoint column. You're getting another mark for completing this column. You get mark number 3 for working out the total of 300, and then you get mark number 4 for getting the final answer. So if you've got 7.7 marks as your answer, or you've got 7.7 and then 8 marks, which you've rounded to, you will automatically get full marks, which would be 4 marks for this question. So I hope you found that video useful. If you did, do hit the like button, as it really helps more people like you find this video. If you haven't already subscribed, hit the subscribe button and click the bell to be notified of our next video. See you next time. Bye.